what was going? Help her with the headset. Make sure they puts it on. And what was going through your mind after your first song when we went to that silly read? Was that exciting for you? Were you laughing, or did you? What was your? Does that happen to you a lot?
No, I was focusing on the compliments you said about me.
Okay, good.
To get my confidence up.
Yes. Now your voice is amazing.
Thank you.
And I always wonder when people sing that way, where you do that very strong guttural. That was pretty good.
That's pretty good, actually.
Do you wear out your voice?
You know, I started doing that listening to Bobby Bland in the shower, and I would just go, wah, wah, wah. And I found that it doesn't really touch anything in the vocal cords. I was so excited.
Oh.
And then I started overusing it. So sometimes when my voice is tired from other things, I'll be on stage just going, wah! You know?
Yeah.
Cheap thrill. So if you got to get through.
Yeah. So I mean, but when you go on tour, you go 3 or 4 nights in a row, right?
5.
And yeah, what do you do? Like hot water tea?
Hot water, lemon, good wine.
Yeah.
Good wine. And sleep. Like my policy is like I can't. I'll freak out. The only thing that freaks me out is if they're saying, oh, you have a 9 a.m. wake up call and you're in Europe. That's 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, for me, sleep is the biggest thing. But otherwise, I can really. I'm not a smoker.
Oh, that's good for you.
No, I never was. I sound like I was since I was 5.
You don't do weed.
I don't do weed. I did do weed.
Yeah.
I did do weed.
Well, you can toke it, apparently, is what I've been hearing.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
And now you can like do the fuming of the alcohol too, right?
Yeah.
Vaporizing.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Vaporize it. Vaporize everything.
Okay, so I want to understand the Janis Joplin thing, because first of all, you seem to be influenced by her. Is that correct or not?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because everybody asks about the Janis thing, and honestly, when I first opened my mouth in New York City singing like old blues stuff, thanks to my guitarist over there, I didn't know Janis Joplin music, and yet it was like another white Southern girl influenced by all these great old black R&B artists. So I have to admit that I wasn't that influenced by her. And then I did the show off Broadway, and then I learned like how amazing she was.
So you played her. You played her for how long?
It was almost a year.
Okay. Off Broadway.
Off Broadway. It was supposed to be 2 nights a week, and then, you know, I was naive and green. I did a handshake, and all of a sudden I was doing 6 nights a week. But I learned a lot.
Me and Bobby McGee. Every night?
Ooh, me and Bobby McGee every night.
Yeah.
That wasn't even the worst. The Mercedes-Benz, where you had to, like, break the theater wall and get the crowd interested. Sometimes you just didn't get it up for that. And you have to.
Then who did influence you if she didn't? Who were the people?
You know, initially, I met my guitarist, John Diamond, over there. I was 19. I had just moved to New York, and he was playing in this blues club, and I didn't know any blues. But I was a big Robert Plant, Mick Jagger, Freddie Mercury.
Right.
You know, I was a real classic rock fan. And John said, go listen to all those people. And then I got into Otis Redding, Etta James, Al Green.
Yeah. So you grew up in Florida. You were singing at an early age?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just mentioned Freddie Mercury. I have to ask you, Under Pressure, like one of the greatest songs ever?
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Are you kidding?
Do you know the story behind that?
Can we give love another chance?
Yeah. But wasn't it like Bowie just came by?
Yes.
Bowie came by the studio and just did his part quickly? Is that right? Or?
Well, the thing I understand is that they were both fans of each other and had never met. And then Bowie dropped in, and they just started riffing together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
one of the greatest songs. I just have to stop every time I hear it. You know, John, I tell you about Miles Davis, but you can tell that I'm, you know, Prince, and then Freddie Mercury. I mean, you're kidding me?
Eclectic mix.
I'm a big Prince fan. I heard this with Damaris earlier.
Yeah.
Who I can't believe I just met a girl that danced with Prince. I'm a Prince junkie myself. I think he's the musical messiah of our time.
He is. It's funny because I also jump around where you said Robert Plant. I also used to listen. I had Robert Palmer on my old show, but he does a cover. He's passed away. Robert Palmer died early, but he did "Mercy Me." He did a couple Marvin Gaye songs that he covered, and there's so many good guys. Now I want to ask you about. So you're touring mostly in Europe. Why is that?
Cool. You know, the machine in Europe is so giving of artists that are not maybe being fortified by maybe the $1 million label machine. So, you know, it started with just one festival by a fluke. We played this tiny little place in Ingolstadt, Germany, where Frankenstein is from. And no one knew who the hell we were. And I bought the wrong flights. I thought it was close to Hamburg. No, it's way south in Bavaria. And I thought we have to cancel the show. And the promoter was like, please, please, you're the headliner.
Wow.
It was that small.
Yeah. This is great.
So we played this Ingolstadt, and then the owner, I think he was more charmed at the fact that, like, it cost me a lot of money to go to Frankenstein's house and play this festival. And then he recommended us to this Dutch agent, and we got, you know, within a year on this giant festival with, like, ZZ Top, The Pretenders. We were the unknown act. And it was a 1 o'clock slot. I just remember having a glass of wine, jet lagged, going, what am I doing? And we got on stage, and it's, you know, Europe is small. These countries are small, and if they like you, it sort of spreads like wildfire. And they don't care if you're fat, old, young, skinny, black, white. They just don't care.
Yeah.
They take the music at face value.
Yeah, they really take it at face value. And you know, I just kind of purged my soul that day, and people started reprising a song that I'd written about my lay sister, and it kind of got the press attention, and so after that, we started touring there all the time.
What year was that?
07. It was at the end of 07.
Okay, and so basically, and I was reading your notes that they pay you better over in Europe. These gigs, they're better paying gigs than over here, correct?
It's amazing. I mean, I love the U.S. I want to play my own country so badly.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of bite your tongue. You can't, especially in my position, you can't speak up against the machine so much. But a perfect example is we had this offer for a show, 2 full sets. They're charging $30 a ticket, and you have to buy dinner, and it's 2 different shows, and they want to pay me and the band $750.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to stand for that.
It's offensive.
We don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I got to pay my band. That doesn't even cover them.
You make sure we pay them tonight a little bit, but not out of my hair and makeup. Now,
I want to hear speaking of touring, your last tour had some interesting foibles. When you were stung by a jellyfish, you got your purse stolen, and you got food poisoning, all in the same day. I mean, how did this work?
All in the same 3 days, but I have to start with that I was first mistaken for Dee Snider of Twisted Sister. So, and after seeing his show, I was actually honored. We were in Norway, and we had gotten this festival. We were opening for Twisted Sister, and as a child, I had this long blonde hair, and in Florida, everybody does, and I would spin around doing that Twisted Sister video and spitting on everybody, and like, you know. And so here I am opening for Twisted Sister many years later, and our flight was canceled, so they sent a bus to pick us up, and we thought the show was over. And in Norway, it's such a small country, they called the bus driver and said, hey, where are you? Location looks good if you meet us 2 hours from here in a football field. And they sent a helicopter to pick me up.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, I landed in a helicopter in this giant football field where Dee Snider's headlining, so all of the Norwegian fans just saw the blonde hair, the 6 foot, and a helicopter.
Yeah.
That's not the opener. That's Dee Snider.
Oh, that's great.
And then, I ate his old pizza because they weren't feeding us either, and I got food poisoning and I puked.
Oh.
And then I recovered in the fjord, and I swam through the largest jellyfish in the world, the lion's mane, who had me burning for 9 hours. Oh. So that was day 2. And then day 3, we flew to Barcelona. I was not burning. I was not puking. And I sat down at a tapas bar on my night off and ordered a glass of wine. And some guy, it was just, he was a magician. Just like, whoosh. My bag was gone with everything.
Oh, boy.
Show has to go on.
Yeah.
You know.
Other than that, it was wonderful.
Other than that, it was amazing.
Right. Stay with us. We're going to take a break and more with Dana Fuchs when we come back. Thank you.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.